Hi everybody, Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. And I just enjoyed watching a tag response to Katie Flower's original tag, No Disclaimers, by Heather Carter. So I thought I would tackle this myself. It's got 8 questions, and here they go. Question number 1. What trend or tropes in tarot annoy you the most? Probably over-reviewing of the same decks is one of them. If I look on the community and everybody has picked the very same deck to review. I do enjoy seeing a variety of viewpoints on a deck, but when it seems like a deck falls into the top 10 on everybody's list and every single person needs to review it, it gets a little bit redundant and follow the leadery. I really enjoy actually decks that people don't share too often, or you don't see too often, introducing new decks for us to look at. I also don't like certain trends in tarot involving glamming them up for sale. I'm not a big fan of gilding on decks. And just because you gild a deck doesn't instantly make it a treasure. It's not to say I don't like any gilding. If a deck is really special, certain decks I'm okay with the gilding on. I mean, paintings, fine art paintings in museum have gold frames. So why not decks that rise to that case? But I don't think every deck deserves it. And I find that putting a metallic edge on a deck distances the deck from me and my handling of it. It makes it a cold deck and takes away the warmth and the comfort of handling that deck. I have a similar reaction to card stock and card size. I want the cards to be comfortable in my hands. I understand why some people like oversized cards, more room to see a larger image, but makes it more difficult to handle and shuffle for me. So I prefer smaller decks. Same thing with the card thickness. I don't like the weight of the card to be so thick that it's kind of a standalone artwork, that it's not easily used or shuffled in a deck. It needs to be easy to handle if you're using it as a deck rather than just art to hold and meditate on one card at a time. Number 2, what deck do you feel is overrated? At the moment, I'm going to say the Alleyman Tarot, because it's getting a lot of excitement and a lot of coverage. And if that's something you love, you do you. The concept is intriguing to me of these multiple cards, but then again, how many cards can one handle or one hold in one's hand? 78 is plenty for me. I don't need massive amounts more. And unless I'm misunderstanding the point of that deck, it pulls cards from other decks. Why not just accumulate those other decks and draw your own cards to combine into a mismatched deck, then have somebody else curate it on your behalf and make those choices for you? I don't understand that. I don't understand why somebody would enjoy having one card of a deck that you love rather than the whole deck, and why one might enjoy having somebody else curate a deck for you from the artwork of many other artists. I tend not to enjoy decks anyway that have many artists involved or many different styles of art involved. It's not to say that you shouldn't go ahead and enjoy that or accumulate that if you wish to, but it's not for me. Number 3, what are your least favorite decks you've seen since joining TarotTube? So many, probably. Although I can't think of them particularly. I'm gonna probably draw on Heather's reference to the Wild Unknown. Why the Wild Unknown is so appreciated is wildly unknown to me. It's not something that I gravitate towards. I don't understand the popularity, but if it works for you, you do you. What are your, let's see, where are we? What is one card that has ruined a deck for you? I can't think of a single card at the moment that's ruined a deck for me, but I'm sure many have. Usually it's something where the art just gets under my skin. If we're talking generically, I'm not fond of the Wheel of Fortune. It's sort of a difficult card art-wise for me. But as a system goes, I think what ruins a card for me, or ruins a deck for me, is when they change the names of the cards. I follow pretty much exclusively the RWS system, and I don't see any reason to reinvent the wheel. It's a perfectly good system. So when people want to change the names of the suits or the names of the major arcana cards, I wouldn't say it ruins a deck for me, but it highly dissuades me from picking up a deck to use it. It makes the system less familiar for me, and I want something that I'm comfortable with. I don't want to use a deck to reinvent the system or find other ways to learn. I'm still learning about the system itself. I don't need to veer off in some other direction. Let me discover the deck anew through different kinds of artwork, different symbols in the images rather than the structure of the tarot. What out-of-print deck do you wish was still in print? I was lucky to get hold of a copy of the Kei Shobu Tarot, and even though I don't like the card stock on this, I do love this deck and wish that it was still in print. It's a Japanese deck from the early 1970s. It's a sort of a cross between the RWS and the Marseille, although I don't know that I pulled any Marseille cards here to show you. I like the color palette, and I like the sort of close-up imagery in this deck. And I wish this was still available and on a better card stock. This is really, really thick card stock. It doesn't glide easily, and it doesn't handle very easily. But I love the color palette and I love the imagery in this deck. Number 6. Number 6, what are some of your tarot and TarotTube pet peeves? Oh my gosh. I think I sort of covered them already. Uncomfortable card size, card stock, card adornment, renaming of suits. As to the TarotTube, too much cliquishness. It's great to support and embrace everybody, but I think various opinions are to be valued as well, and not just one point of view. What are some decks that you feel should have more recognition? I'm in a little bit of a quandary about this. One of my favorites that I feel more people should know about is the Mara Loon. It's available on MPC. It's a very gentle and comfortable deck. I've been singing its praises for a while now. While I wish it was appreciated more, people are starting to discover it. And part of me almost doesn't want people to know about it so that it remains special rather than talked about too much so that people get tired of hearing about it. There are no uncomfortable cards in this deck. And it's got the most beautiful back design and coloring of any deck that I own, but that's, of course, my personal taste. And lastly, the number 8, what are your thoughts on negative reviews? Well, many consider me the card curmudgeon, and I actually appreciate two-sided views and negative views that show you the good side and the bad side of a deck. Or if it's all bad side, that's okay too, but present it in a way that reveals your perspective on why you like or dislike aspects of a deck. It's not helpful to anybody to just trash a deck, and I do appreciate every single deck creator's intentions and efforts to create a wonderful deck. And not everybody's going to look for or enjoy the same things in decks. But I really appreciate if people dislike something, if they explain why they dislike it, rather than just saying, this is garbage. I don't think that's helpful to anyone. And what one person dislikes or thinks is garbage is treasure or is likable to someone else. So I think those are important aspects to discuss in reviews. And think that probably covers the no disclaimers, which actually feel like disclaimers to me, but there you go. We have a million different kinds of decks and a million different people that love them, hate them, for various reasons. Share your reasons, and sometimes even your negative reasons can be a positive benefit to another person looking to consider that deck. They may absolutely love the thing about it that you hate, so you never know. But be kind, be considerate, and be thoughtful when sharing aspects that you do or don't appreciate about a deck. I guess that's about it. See y'all soon.